YouTube. Good evening. So I want to show you this video. The video came out a little while ago, but I just happened to run into it. And I know that even though the video is old, the um, rhetoric is still the same even till today. So as you can see by the title, um, this video is pretty much going to be about black men and why they don't date black women. So I'm going to go ahead and first roll the video and then I'll tell you my thoughts.
Who are you?
Michelangelo.
Okay, nice to meet you.
How are you? I've been out with black women or approached black women, and before they even knew me, they said, how many kids you got? How many baby mamas you got? Dating outside my race, I haven't had no issues like that at all.
Okay, and you are?
I'm Koro.
Koro.
I've been practicing abstinence for 3 years, 3 years with no sex. I'm looking for someone that can respect my views on this, someone that can love me for me.
And you are?
Bo.
Bo.
Yeah, I don't date black women now because of past experiences. They like to place that strong personality on you, and sometimes you just kind of, stand a woman's place.
So do you have any idea why you're here?
We share some of the same
Opinions.
About?
Why are black women so angry?
Was your mother angry?
To a certain degree, yes. She had that anger inside of her, but she made sure that she didn't pass it on to me. I see how she handles that, and she gives off that vibe that I get from women here, but when it came to me and how she approached me and taught me about women, she said, don't deal with this.
That's interesting, because as a black mother,
Yeah.
my work was to help my son understand it so that he would know how to stand in it with a black woman. Why are you here?
My situation's a little bit different because I traveled a lot when I was a kid, very talented, very gifted musically. So because of that, when I came back to my neighborhood, when I was dealing with certain black women, you're different. You talk funny, you dress funny, the music you listen to is funny. I don't like being because I had flip-flops on or I had a turtleneck, I'm gay. The problem I'm having is just because you're my culture and you're black, you don't get a pass. All the women in my family, I got a side of cousins that made me feel weird about that.
How can anybody make you feel anything? You get to choose how you feel.
You don't know that when you're kids, it's a psychological imprint.
What does that have to do with today?
Now, with a black woman, I have this in my mind before I even talk to you, she's gonna think I'm weird. And that bothered me a lot.
When I went to junior high school, I got bussed from Ocean Hill, Brownsville to Flatbush, and they spit on me and called me a nigger. They spit on me. And I was 13. And these were adults, not the children. So my point is this, that don't have nothing to do with who I am today. What is your experience?
A lot of black women, they don't want to talk to me. Some of them don't want to talk to me. Some of them want to talk to me because, number one, I'm a God-fearing man. I don't believe, like right now, I'm practicing abstinence. I'm not having any sex whatsoever.
Why you ain't in the church?
I am in the church. I'm gonna tell you about the church women. If you don't have a collar, they don't want to talk to you. I'm straight up.
But
if you don't have a collar, they
do
don't
you
want to
know
talk
what
to
the
you.
collar represents, though?
I guess it's purity or, leadership or, I don't know, a divine.
How about power?
Yeah.
How about power? That's what it represents.
Okay.
But let me tell you why I've called you here today. I've invited you here because my intention is to dismantle the myth of the angry black woman. I believe it's a myth.
Huh.
As a black woman,
Yeah.
I believe it's a myth.
You saw the video. My concern is how many women did they date? And when I say, how many did they date, like, how many relationships were they in to come to the conclusion to say black women as a collective? Because, the first guy, he has this, I don't know how to put my finger on it, but the gentleman who said that, why are black women so angry? And then when he was asked about his mother, he was like, oh, well, she didn't show that kind of anger towards me, but I knew she had it. So you were pretty much just trying to backpedal. So your mom wasn't an angry black woman, but you just already said, why are black women angry? You know, they might be angry because you're bashing them. It's fine that you want to date outside your race. You know, people can be with who they choose to be with, no matter what race they are. I just think you should be with someone that can help in edifying your culture. And what I mean by that is, if the person you're with is bashing your community or allowing you to bash your own community, then it's a problem. So if for you to want to be with another woman means bashing an entire race of women based on some experiences you've had, because there's no way you dated that many black women and they were all the same. All black women aren't angry. Believe me, if they're with a good black man, they're always happy. They're not angry. And I know that to be a fact. So it's just this idea that, you know, men like these men come across and they say, you know, black women are this, black women are that. It's just like if I said, why are black men cheaters or have baby mamas? That would be so wrong, because I know, and I've myself been with black men who were good people. And as a matter of fact, there's all races that have trifling guys, just like all races have trifling women. But for me to put a label in an entire race of men is wrong, and the same for women. So if I decided I wanted to date outside my race, why do I have to bash another race to do it? And that's my issue here. If you don't want to date black women, fine, but don't trash talk them, because just being black, and you know, the black man should know, we get a lot of riff. So why should you add to it? And if it's not the rhetoric that these guys are saying, it's going to be something about a woman's hair, whether they either have good hair, or how light or dark they are, whether they wear weave or not, or makeup or not. It's always going to be something, how they speak. But anyhow, that's the first guy. Then the other gentleman talks about, you know, how he dresses. You know, that means you're just dating a certain type of, you know, women who are either vain or into something like that, because all women don't care about that. As long as you dress decent and accordingly, no one cares about how you dress, and or the kind of music you listen to, because there's, you know, black people that listen to country music, whereas the black consensus may say, oh, I don't like country music. But there's people that listen to country music, jazz and stuff, things other than what people consider what black people only listen to. All black people do not listen to rap or hip hop or anything like that. And the other guy, he's a straight up, he's got to be lying. He's a straight up idiot if he wants me to believe that he has a hard time finding women because he is, you know, because he decides to be celibate. You know how many women are walking around here being celibate and trying not to have sex, but they're trying to have a good relationship, and he's making it seem like all women just want pastors? Please. More women typically go to church than men in the, you know, black culture. So women, they're not trying to run away from men who are trying to be celibate and looking for something real and God fearing. So he full of it. And then when she asked why aren't you in the church, I'm assuming that was there something about how he didn't go to church. I don't know why she asked. And then he had this laugh as if, I do go to church. Well, I can see right through it. Now the guy, going back to the guy who was the musician that said people didn't like the way he dressed or anything like that. You know, I think he's really bitter. I think he's bitter. I'm not going to show the other video, but it had where they did have this mitzvah, and he asked this woman, are you bitter about your last breakup? Just he asked her a question out the blue, and she's like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a good breakup, if that's what you're asking. And then he's like, oh, so you're bitter. No, you're bitter. Like, what is all this hostility and this anger? And I feel like this. When black men, these type of black men, when they say, I can't stand black women, or these black women, or when they're pretty much bashing a black woman, in many cases, they've been hurt by a black woman, because you don't get so mad over something you don't really care about, in my opinion. If you could go either way and you have no problem with black women, you just chose to be with this person, it's whatever. It's your preference. But when you get to the point where you start bashing and just like grilling in on someone, just honing in and trying to rip them to pieces and their credibility, you've been hurt. You've been hurt, or you're trying to get even with someone who's done something, and instead of dealing with that person, you just attack the whole race of women. So basically, you still got a problem with X, Y, and Z. Instead of dealing with that or moving on or growing from that situation, you decide to be mad at X, Y, and Z and everybody else that reminds you of X, Y, and Z, basically. I just think that these men are self-hating. They're either hurt, bitter, and they have not dated enough. Because, you don't even have to date enough. You could just change where you go to date. Like, the point that I'm trying to make is, maybe if you're coming up with the same kind of people, maybe it's the area that you're in, or where you're choosing them, who you're choosing them through, maybe an app or a friend, a wingman, I don't know. Maybe only in your neighborhood. Sometimes birds of the same feather flock together. So if you're only staying in this area, you're only going to get these same type of people. They have the same beliefs and things like that. So, you have to kind of, switch it up. The question goes into, who are you associating yourself with? And where are you when you're finding these same kind of people that you're calling angry and dismissive to you and what you like, and that they just want to run around and be nothing but promiscuous, and they don't want to have a good guy to settle down with, a God-fearing man, and care more about a relationship than sex, because most women care more about a relationship than just sex. So I think there is a lot of bull crap in whatever he's saying that he's not saying. So why don't y'all tell me what you think? And also hit the like button and subscribe.